Hello there, guys, and welcome back to my channel for my live reaction and player ratings live stream following Chelsea 2, Brentford 1. We have finally broken our Brentford curse. For the love of God, we have finally beaten them at Stamford Bridge. And as you can maybe tell by the thumbnail, I was all ready to go on a hype train on Marc Cucurella and never get off it again. And then he proceeds to get himself sent off after full time. But obviously, I had the thumbnail and title and everything ready, so I could change that again. So he is still special, but also a little bit special stupid. I don't really know what he got sent off for. I'm hoping you guys in the chat can help me figure that out. But bloody hell, are we in a title race? We will need to discuss that today. Are we actually maybe in a title race? I can't really believe I'm even saying this. Something in me still doesn't really want to say it. But we'll talk. We'll talk more about it in detail later. Kachivi, I'm gonna just call you that. Does Cuckoo miss the next match? Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Thankfully, it was a second yellow, so 2 yellow cards sending off, not straight red. But bloody hell, Uzaya says great win, fully deserved. Should have scored more, but we always make it difficult for ourselves. Unfortunately, we do. What a crazy game it was. Obviously, we played well, deserved to win, got the goal just before halftime. Should have scored 2 or 3 after that. And then we started to be a bit nervy. And then they nearly scored on 2 occasions. Sanchez with an absolute worldy save. And then I can't remember which one of the forwards it was. He had just come on as a substitute. Hits it against the bottom of the bar. It bounces back down. You didn't know at the moment, was it going to go in? Was it not? Oh my God, that little nudge from Levi Colwell that he gave that cross, in my opinion, saved us tonight. Oh my God, imagine it goes 1-1. Oh my God, the head loss. The head loss will be unbelievable. Ricardo says, excellent performance by Cucurella and Enzo Fernandez. I 100% agree. Rich says, this is a massive result, by the way. First win versus them at home in 3 years. First win ever against them in the Premier League anyway at home. Yeah, to be fair, they haven't been promoted for very long, hence those 3 years. And we've been kind of terrible for a lot of those 3 years. Rio says, Jackson tends to overthink things. He should have got a hat-trick today. I don't think overthinking was the issue today. The one goal where he had time to think, he scored. It's just a bit unlucky. He didn't really expect it. He wasn't fully ready for it. He should have been better. He should have been ready for it, absolutely. But he wasn't really ready for it. I'm not sure what other one he should have scored. Maybe you're talking about the header early on. I'm not sure, but please elaborate, bro. Please elaborate. World-class Caicedo. He's unbelievable. Come on, the Chelsea. Yes, Lukey. Come on, the Chelsea. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can tell, just me, myself, and I again today, so I want to talk to you guys. Give me your thoughts. Give me your questions. Give me your topics. Of course, if you want to support, use the Super Chat function. But my God, appreciate you all for tuning in. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Share the tweet, retweet the tweet on Twitter. Most of you probably didn't come from Twitter, but if you've seen my tweet, retweet it, get it out there. Like this live stream so we spread it out to more people. But I'm buzzing, and I need to bring up one thing, and we'll talk about the detail of the performance. We'll talk about the lineup and this and that and everything. Of course we will. But my God, we need to discuss this very thing that I'm going to show you in a second if the thing starts scrolling, even though it doesn't really want to. Don't know why it doesn't want to. There you go. So, Enzo Maresca's Chelsea are 2 points behind Liverpool. We are currently second in the Premier League table. 4 points ahead of Arsenal and 7 points ahead of Manchester City and 12 points ahead of Manchester United, who, of course, today beat Manchester City in the Manchester derby. Now Manchester City dropping even more points. Could Pep Guardiola get sacked? This is a serious question now, guys. Are Chelsea Football Club in a title race? We seriously need to discuss this. Are we in a title race? Because we kind of might be, guys. We kind of might be. And oh my days, Rockers G. You really are a G. Thank you very much for becoming a member. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to become a member, please hit the join button underneath. It's underneath if you're on desktop or down in the description if you're on your phone. What this does, it gives you a little sign, emoji, icon, whatever you call it, next to your name, which makes sure that I actually see all your messages and they stand out at me. Obviously, there's other benefits as well. There's different tiers of memberships too, which you can, look at all the info is if you click that join button. But thank you very much, Rockas. My guy. Now, let me go through a couple more messages from the chat. Can you explain again what happened to Cuckoo red card? Honestly, say this. I can't because I haven't seen what happened. Supposedly, he said something. Now, I assume he probably moaned at the ref for the yellow card he got 2 minutes earlier because he got a yellow card, which, he won the ball. Can you give a yellow card? Maybe because his trailing leg connected or collected the guy. But to get a yellow card in 90 plus 5 and then in 90 plus 8 after full time is a bit of a stinker. I can't like Cucurella. But no, unfortunately, second yellow cards cannot be appealed. Only straight red cards can be appealed, so we can do absolutely nothing. Cucu and Caicedo is everywhere. I feel like we got two Kante. It's true, man. Caicedo was masterclass. Yes, he was. Title charge is officially on, in my opinion, is what Ricky says. Now, let me highlight this a bit bigger for you guys. As you can see, 2 points of Liverpool, of course, dropped points yesterday against Fulham. Of course, they have that game in hand against Everton, which would have been played last weekend, but got postponed due to the weather. And we play Everton next weekend. So not going to be an easy game. Not going to be an easy week, especially now that we've got Cucurella missing, who in my opinion is one of our most important players. But yeah, we're just 2 points of Liverpool. We're 4 points ahead of Arsenal. Arsenal, their bottle jobs dropping points again yesterday. Bloody set piece FC. Can't do anything else. Did you see what Troop said? I'm not going to say it on here because I might get demonetized. But did you see what Troop said about how they play football? The funniest thing ever. Forest are 4th. Man City are only 5th. We are 7 points ahead of me. I can't even believe it. We are not in any title race, Rich says. Okay, can we elaborate? Why do people think we are, and why do people think we're not in a title race? Rio says no. Rio says big no. No. We're just some chill guys, Laurenz. Yeah, I hear it. We need 2 centre-backs in January, not 1, maybe. Road to 40 points continues. Don't mind us. We're quite close to that one. We're quite close to that one. Listen to Maresca. No, we just want our 3 points. We talk title race early March. Okay. We are, not going to lie. But if anyone that's not the Chelsea fan asks, we are only taking it day by day. Now, he pushed some guy. Cucurella. Stop drinking so much Estrella. Sorry, that was a terrible pun. I apologize. But yeah, oh my God, did it have to be? I mean, we break a curse, Bogatin. Yes, we did. We're breaking so many curses. The early kickoff curse, the after international curse, the Brentford curse. We're breaking all the curses. Big K says by default. Did you see Jackson has the most non-penalty goals in the Premier League since the start of last season? No, bloody hell, I didn't see that. What a stat. Thank you, Amit. Rokas. I keep saying your name wrong. My apologies. He says, hi, Laurenz. Glad to be a member of your team. Let's go, Chelsea. Thank you very much. One last question I have. Please spell my name right. It's AU, not O, but no worries. I appreciate you. Rio says, Tosin played really well for like 88 minutes and then dropped the ball 2 minutes before halftime. We're not there yet. It can't be before halftime if you played 88 minutes well, but sure. It's almost 3 a.m. I'll just listen while sleeping. Hey, I won't shout as much then, JC. Sleep well. Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate you. And pick up Sanchez today. I hear that. I mean, before stoppage time. Yeah, fair enough. Can we please start talking about the title race in April? We are not halfway in the season yet. We are not. Because we are immature and we lose big 6 matches on moments as we do not manage those matches properly. Bro, Palmer has not been playing that well. We're still creating great chances from everywhere. Maresca ball is very serious. We're not in a title race, says Semilor. Just trying to avoid relegation. 6 more points. Fair enough. On a serious note, 1 second, I got distracted. Stop distracting me, bro. When I'm trying to read other messages. The chat is active. I love it. I'm just trying to get through everything that you guys have said. Uzi says, on a serious note, we just make things too difficult for ourselves. Also, seem to have a disciplinary issue, which doesn't look like a title-winning side. I'm not sure if I go along with that last bit, but I'll try to get a few more of your comments, and then I'll kind of give my own thoughts on whether are we in a title race or not. It says, damn, you get through comments quicker than my ex gets through their bodies. Bloody hell. We're not in a title race. We're just taking game by game. That's the most important thing from today's game, finally beating Brentford after 3 years. Now, Palmer should have had 2 assists. Should he? Can't even remember anymore. But let me quickly... Yeah, he did, to be fair to him. He did. Now, my perspective on the title race is this. We are not really ready for a title race, but we find ourselves in a title race. Whether that's due to now recently also Liverpool dropping off a little bit, obviously also that one game being postponed. Had they just played and won that, they'd probably still be, well, it's still only 5 points now, but who knows, maybe they don't drop points against Fulham if they play Everton. You never know, right? But Liverpool's still dropping off a little bit. Arsenal kind of being bottle jobs and all of a sudden being terrible with anything other than set pieces. And bloody Tom Garrett figuring out how to beat their set piece strategies. And City obviously falling apart as well. Now, like I say, I don't think we're ready to be in a title race. I don't think we're ready to be title contenders as such. But, and I don't want to compare us to Leicester. But are you trying to tell me Leicester were ready to be in a title race? No one would have thought they were ready to be in a title race. They still won a title. Now, I'm not saying we're going to win the title, but I'm saying, and I agree with that comment earlier that said, when anyone that's not a Chelsea fan asks, no, we're just taking it game by game. Of course not. But like I say, the situation that we're in, 2 points off top, even if it's with a gameplay more played than Liverpool ahead of us, you can't. After 16 games, we're very close to the halfway mark of the Premier League. Like 18 is half, right? Most people are aware of that, I assume. We have 2 points off top. I'm not, like I say, no one's saying, when you say, are we in a title race? That doesn't mean, are we going to win the title? Those are two different conversations. Because are we going to win the title? I'm still firmly on no. But I think we're getting to the point with so many teams around us dropping points. Well, we can't sit here and say we're not in a title race. Again, we aren't really ready for it, but we still happen to find ourselves here. Whether that's because of other teams being bad or that's because of other teams bottling it, whatever you want to, however you want to phrase that. But we are here. And you can't tell me we are not here, bloody hell. And I said this earlier already. Now, even if we're now maybe have to say we're kind of in a title race, we can't get ahead. I can't speak anymore. We can't get ahead of ourselves, right? It's important. And the one thing I will give a lot of Chelsea fans is, us as Chelsea fans, we have seen title-winning teams, and we know what it takes to be a title-winning team. But I'll say this much. When we won the league under Antonio Conte, say early December, late November, I don't think many of us would have said that we were really going to realistically win the title that season either. You know what I mean? What about 2004, 2005? Now, obviously, we were incredible with Jose, but how long did it take until the fans started to truly believe in it? Because we didn't have so much evidence to go off it before that in terms of actually getting things over the line. So it's tough. Can we maintain it, though? I don't think long-term we will be able to maintain it. We're getting a little bit lucky at times, like today, where they nearly scored off the bar. But the thing is, can we maintain it long enough to get serious experience out of this, which can be a huge help going into next season? Because I think that we can do. I think that we can do. The defensive discipline is not there yet. Sanchez is class today. He was class today. I think sometimes, though, the way Maresca plays, we are just willing to concede chances sometimes. It's a bit like City, right? City so often concede so many chances. Sometimes it's their midfielders cleaning up. Sometimes it's their defenders cleaning up. Sometimes it's Ederson himself. Or sometimes it's they make clear tactical fouls and somehow get away with it. Like, how many years did Fernandinho do that for? You know what I mean? But yeah, we're still sloppy sometimes. But that's kind of part of it. And that's kind of what makes it crazy. Because when you compare us now to when we played Man City in the first game of the season in August. Now, obviously, you would expect improvement between the first game under the new manager with a young team and 4 months later. But we are a lot better than then. So, obviously, improvement is not necessarily linear. And, for example, if you look at Maresca's season at Leicester, he had a great first half of the season and kind of dropped off second half of the season and nearly got caught. Nearly got caught is maybe a stretch, but got caught up at least and closed down at least by some of the other teams like Southampton. And Ipswich, sorry. But we're there, guys. We are in the conversation, and I think we've come to a point where we can't really say we're not in the conversation anymore. I will get through a couple of more of your comments on this topic before we get into individual player ratings and stuff. I just want to say one more thing, and that's that I've lost my train of thought. I don't remember what I just wanted to say to you. Oh yeah, I read somewhere where someone said we're doing a disservice to this team and manager if we just run around saying we're not in a title race. Now, when I read that, I was like, what do I think of that? Like I say, they said we're doing a disservice to the team and the manager if we say we're not in a title race. It's very interesting, isn't it? Because I kind of hear what they mean, because so many of these players have played so well for a significant period now. And again, the second half of last season was also strong. It's important to differentiate between, are we in a title race and can we win the title, or are we going to win the title? Those are three different conversations. Well, I guess 1 against 2, right? But yeah, it's tough. I'll go through a few more of your comments. Rich says, title winning teams don't give up this many big chances for me personally. I mean, maybe not. Maybe not. But if every team gives up big chances, because Liverpool sometimes do as well, if everyone does it, doesn't that also mean that also a team that does it can win it? You know what I mean? The Demonin says the players want to win every game, so they know. They need us to say exactly. And even Enzo Fernandez, obviously Palmer and Maresca, they're like, no, not ready, blah, blah, blah. Enzo Fernandez was speaking about it slightly differently. He was like, obviously we were, still in the process of learning and everything, but we're going to try to win every game. And of course, that's our main objective in the long run. So you never know. JM says title winning teams never have an inconsistent goalkeeper. Sanchez was excellent today, but this isn't his usual performance. No, I 100% agree. I 100% agree, bro. The thing is, Kelleher is also inconsistent. Sometimes amazing. Sometimes a bit shit. Now, of course, Alisson is back now. Made a great stop yesterday as well that I saw, even though I only caught a little bit of that game. And again, I'm not saying we're going to actually beat Liverpool to it. But if we're 2 points off top, guys, 16 games in, again, okay, they have played 15. But we're too close to just say we're not even in the race, is what I think now. I have to say it now. We are one world-class centre-half and goalkeeper away from being title contenders. Militao and Kobel, my preference. I mean, Militao doesn't have an active ACL, bro. He's currently out with an ACL injury and has done both of his ACLs in the last 2 years. So I wouldn't vote for Militao personally. But Kobel could be. We'll be top for a couple of hours if we beat Fulham. Spicy, bro. And imagine Liverpool bottle it. We play Liverpool in like the 4th last game of the season. Going to be a blockbuster match. Well, hopefully, that's what I want. I want us to still be in and around it for that game. Because like I say, that experience, dealing with that pressure is where we will really learn for the upcoming years, where we can truly get things done. Darson says, we will see where we are after 28 games. Then we can say whether or not we're in a title race. The title race starts long before the 28th game, bro. Let's be honest. Brentford goalkeeper makes 7 saves like Prime Neuer. So unlucky. I mean, there was a couple of good saves. Most of them were fairly straightforward, though. I know we have a big squad, but we have been kind of lucky with injuries. Have we, though? Like the Mudryk situation, is he ill? Is he not? No one knows what's going on there. João Felix all of a sudden gone. And Kunku, not injured, but wasn't like, I don't think he could have started today. We've got Reece James out. We've got Fofana out. Now we've got Cucurella suspended. We've got a couple. Just not as bad as the last few years. If you beat Everton, not Fulham. Yeah, exactly. I was thinking that. We'd play Everton, don't we? So let me scroll back a little bit. Exactly. We've been here before. Not gonna get far ahead of ourselves. We'll talk more seriously after we get our serious winning streak with clean sheets. Clean sheets we're allergic to, guys. We're not going to get clean sheets. Thoughts on Pep's comments about Chelsea being the standard now? I think nowadays you can't really take it too seriously, anything that Pep Guardiola says. I mean, he has a point to an extent that obviously they do a little bit of a revamp and they're very limited with financial fair play and stuff, which is why we did things the way we did it. Why you have to go, if you want to do a whole revamp, you have to go for young players and cheap players and on fairly low wages. But yeah, I can't lie. Maintaining how we're playing isn't my worry. I think we're playing well enough to win, but getting lucky to win at the same time too, if that makes sense. Yeah, sometimes, not all the time though. I'm glad we're doing well, but I don't want to get out of myself fast. We need to avoid being Arsenal, who did the same, went on an unexpected title run, called it a good experience, and now we're not even in the conversation. And now they are not even in the conversation. Now that's true, but we are not Arsenal. Big difference. There's a reason why we've got 5 of these Premier League titles, and they've got more. Forgot. It's that Liverpool joke. It's funny. Anyway, definitely, if City don't drop off and performs as usual, we are 3rd. That being said, we are having a really good season and we'll only get better. How quickly we improve is up to us. Yeah, you said that already. Okay, we will continue now. Who's playing first next week? And us or Liverpool? Well, according to the chat, us. I'm not sure. Forget Kellyman. What a clown. That's still the stupidest thing I've ever had. Was Lewis in a match today? I assume so. It's probably why he's not live yet. But stick around to here and check out his stream later on. But yeah, guys, let me get to the stats sheet of today. Now, you can still see the Premier League table. Let me go to the stats and make the screen bigger for you. How did today's game transpire? We had 62% possession. In total, 2.13 expected goals. They had 1.61. Of course, did actually score one, a fairly easy one with the goalkeeper, and obviously the one where they rifled it against the bar, and another kind of one-on-one where Sanchez pulled off a worldly save. But we had 26 shots, 8 of which on target. They kind of caught us up with that a little bit towards the end. Supposedly they had more big chances than us. Don't really feel like that's accurate, but sure. Decent passing accuracy, 85%. I'll take that. Committed more fouls than them, which is interesting. Had 8 corners. To be honest, by the end, they caught up on corners as well a little bit. It was quite much more clear towards like earlier in the game. But that's why Brentford is a difficult team to play against. That's why. Like people will moan and people will say, well, they're always terrible away from home. And that's true. They have been terrible away from home. But they've also always beaten us at the Bridge. And Brentford turned up today. For Brentford standards, they turned up. You know what I mean? They created chance. They defended really, really well. I think in the grand scheme of things, we should be happy. Now, I'm a bit unhappy with Cucurella's sending off. Like, that really kind of annoys me a little bit. But yeah, we'll get into that. Now, we shaped up in kind of this formation. But let me bring it over to how we actually featured. Because, and I know I've recently often portrayed it more as a 3-2-4-1. But this is actually a bit more accurate. Well, to be honest, maybe even a bit more like so in possession. Now, obviously, then sometimes also Cucurella and Enzo filled this gap, and it almost created a 3-1-5, 3-1-5-1, I guess. But in principle, it's kind of a diamond in midfield, and then front three before that, and a back three behind that, which is interesting, which is very, very interesting, and it's working so well. And I love that we mix it up ever so slightly. Like, we have a main game plan, of course, and a main structure, but we ever so slightly adapt what we do and how we do it for every game. And for example, today, Maresca was like, okay, guys, the thing to do is crosses to the far post. From the half space, from the wide areas, crosses to the far post. And why do we do that? Because Brentford play in the back three like us do, in terms of, well, in possession, but they played out of possession, even though out of possession, arguably a back five. But when we stretch them, when there's a gap between wing back and wide centre back, the aim today was to put a cross there and then for players to arrive there. Cucurella did it in the first minute of the game, even though Jackson kind of nodded it away from him and nearly scored, to be fair. Cucurella actually did score from it later on. We had another couple at the far post, but ball falling to Madueke at the far post. This is what we do. And we kind of shape it up differently, filling gaps, filling roles, playing it out from the back, stopping. Like, our press is outrageous. The way we stopped them today, Caicedo, Cucurella, Enzo Fernandez, unbelievable. Jackson, unbelievable work rate off the ball. It's genuinely outrageous. By the way, Malo Gusto, he might go a little bit under the radar today because a lot of good performances today. But Malo Gusto was outstanding, in my opinion. He was outstanding for 95% of this game. Maybe there's a couple of moments where he could have done better. I'm sure that I might forget one or two. But in the grand scheme of things, I thought Gusto was amazing. People underestimate how good the CDM has to be to play a 3-1-5-1. I say no man of the match for me, but props to literally every other player. They all had their role in the win. Couldn't agree more, JM. Yes. I mean, the way Caicedo plays it. Now, obviously, this is very flexible, right? Sometimes you'll have Cucurella dropping. Sometimes you'll have Enzo dropping. Sometimes you'll have both dropping and almost creating a 3 if necessary. Sometimes you also had Palmer falling himself into here and Cucurella is here, or Cucurella pushes up there and then Palmer drops down to here to receive the ball. It's very fluid. It's very flexible, which I love, which I absolutely love. But I think we need to start with one man and one man only today. Robert Sanchez. Let me bring up his stats, guys, because my guy turned up today. He's honestly playing really, really solid games today. Yeah, absolutely. The way these players press is ridiculous, man. Did you see lazy Jadon Sancho? Everyone has really bought in, and I couldn't be happier. Exactly. Yes, please, God, keep Caicedo healthy the whole season. For the love of God, what a player. What a player. But let me move over to the FootMob screen for the stats. Because Robert Sanchez was outrageous today. Now, he only made 3 saves, which this is what I mean by, because I've seen some people say we didn't deserve to win this or that. Now, that doesn't sound as big as it is, but that save that he made, stretched up with his left arm, one-on-one with the defender, which in a situation where very similar to the goal we conceded against Arsenal those few weeks ago when we played 1-1 against them at the Bridge, where it was first a set piece and the ball goes back out. And then we're kind of just not organized. Like, not organized because we have people at the far post like Jackson and Palmer. And then as soon as the ball gets played out, they start to push up. But then the defense doesn't spread out anymore. And just like against Arsenal, the chance happened from, I don't remember who the player was, but 2 Brentford players being completely unmarked at the far post, behind Tosin in particular. He controls the ball one-on-one with Sanchez. Sanchez comes out. He nearly puts it top corner, and Sanchez just plucks it and just taps it over the bar. What a save. Outrageous. Not sure about some of his passing today. Like, he went for long passes where the long passes didn't even make sense. Like, sometimes against Brighton, against Spurs, against Newcastle, when they press man for man, these long passes, long balls make sense. But don't hit them. Don't hit long balls out of play. And don't hit long balls nowhere near any of our forwards. That's pointless. Then just wait. You know what I mean? So, yeah, the passing certainly could have been better. Now, he in total misplaced 15 passes, and all 15 of those were long balls. So at least he didn't make a mistake in short passing. There was one moment, I'm sure all of you guys remember it. When he just got the ball passed back, I think by Colwell. And he kind of just didn't control it, and it kind of rolled past him. Obviously, he had plenty of time to still stop it from going in goal, so it wasn't like super nervy, but it's just that typical Sanchez moment that doesn't help. Roca says, I didn't like Gusta's crosses, but overall, yeah, he was good. Now, there was a couple of good crosses, but there was also a couple of bad crosses. I do agree. We need Lavia for the next few fixtures. He will be crucial in tight spaces. I agree, but we don't know what's wrong with Lavia. Like, he had obviously that hamstring issue that partly was the reason why he came off against Spurs, but obviously not in the squad today, and we don't really know what's going on. So hopefully we find out some more. Sanchez passing stats from today is a bit disappointing. I mean, yeah, but it's just those long balls, isn't it? And half of those long balls didn't even feel like they were aimed at a teammate. They were just punted. Serious question, though. What the flip happens if Caicedo goes down? That is a profile we're lacking, to be honest. Andre Santos, I really wouldn't personally, but a title charge is a title charge. You mean you really wouldn't personally bring him back from loan? By the way, Andre Santos has been unbelievable. Scoring a goal again today has been outrageous for Strasbourg. Unbelievable. Now, I think Lavia can be the profile that Caicedo is. I'm not saying he is like Caicedo. He isn't. But he can do a job. The problem is, obviously, Lavia is also very on and off with fitness. So that is obviously a bit difficult. I don't think Sanchez had that bad of a game, to be honest. What? No, he didn't have bad of a game at all, bro. He had an outrageous game in the grand scheme of things. Still have a really solid player in Lavia. Still losing Caicedo would be a big blow, absolutely. It still nearly gave me a heart attack. Yes, it nearly gave me a heart attack too when he couldn't stop the ball. I think Robert Sanchez today for the double that save, the two saves really, but in particular that one, I'm giving him an 8. I thought he was also strong at collecting crosses. I was quite happy with him, how he made the game quick when Brentford were pushed high with a lot of bodies, and then he made it quick for us to try to counter, because we don't often want to do that on Maresca. We like to keep things slow, don't make games a basketball game, don't make them too open. But when the opponent obviously defends as well and as deep as Brentford did, then sometimes you need to make it quick, and I think Sanchez did a good job at that. So, yeah. 8.5. I could go 8.5. Absolutely. Andre Santos is the 4th top scorer in Europe. Easy. In France. Still crazy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I thought so too. He made some huge saves. Yeah, he did. I mean, people saying 8.5, which is also fair. We are chill guys. Just 3-point merchants. so Gusto left back, right back against Sean Dyche, Sancho, Neto, or Madueke. Yeah, Farsi, that is a difficult question. What are we going to do against Everton next week? Because, like you said, Cucurella is suspended. It's going to be either what you said, Gusto left back, Caicedo right back, or it's going to be Gusto right back, Vega left back, and then Vega either playing in midfield or Vega playing left centre back. One of the two. We'll see. But obviously, then you still have the right centre back issue. So I think, yeah, it could be what you said. It could absolutely be what you said, but we'll have to see how it goes, because we still don't have a right centre back really. If you play Gusto on the left and Caicedo on the right, you still need someone to be the right centre back, and we don't really have anyone that's decent for it. Yeah, don't forget Renato Vega. Don't forget him. But yeah, I'll give Sanchez an 8 and move on. It will be Vega's time to prove his worth, hopefully. And against Sean Dyche's team, against Everton, a big physical guy like Vega could do a good job anyway. Now, let's move up the pitch and to the centre backs. Tosin Adara Bioyo. Good performance today. Now, that goal that they scored at the very end, and he tried to slide tackle and he missed the ball. It depends on what everybody thinks. Do you think he could have got that? Do you think he should have got that? Tough. I mean, to be fair, Sammy says Achampong. Could Achampong play the right centre back role? Maybe. To be honest, I would be very surprised if he got that chance in the Premier League, but you never know. K-Star Gaming says, one flaw with Sanchez's game is that he seems to try and overly anticipate crosses. Have you noticed that? Yes, 100% K-Star Gaming. I could not agree more. He does that so often. Not even just for crosses. He does it for shots as well. Sometimes it pays off for him, and sometimes it doesn't pay off for him. So it's like, it's one of those. It's one of those. But as for Tosin, let's look at his stats quickly. Obviously played the whole game, had 2 shots, nearly scored with a header quite late on as well. That was a good effort, to be fair. Decent passing accuracy, although I like my centre-backs to be over 90%, if I'm honest. We'll see what the other ones have. But still, 7 out of 10 long balls is pretty good going. The fact that he played 10 in the first place is pretty good. 1 out of 2 tackles, all right. 2 out of 3 ground duels is pretty decent. 7 out of 7 ground duels is very strong because that's one of Brentford's strengths as well. Of course, obviously, I know Tosin is ginormous, but I actually thought Tosin had a very, very strong game today. Yes, my bro. Hello, Nashi. How you well? How you well? Hope you're well. How you doing? He said, please like and subscribe, guys. Yes, guys. Like Nashi says, hit like as well. Shout out you, Nashi. Appreciate you, Nashi. Appreciate you for tuning in. Roca says, for the Brentford goal, I was screaming for Cucurella to bring down the Bees player before he made that assist for Mbeumo. Yeah, it was a bit unfortunate. We had a throw in. Cucurella throws it to Caicedo. Caicedo kind of gets crowded by 3 or 4 players. They kind of nick the ball off him, play it through to Mbeumo, who was kind of in a foot race with Colwell, outpaces Colwell. Tosin tries to slide in, doesn't get the ball, and here we are. Now, Sammy said 6.5 for Tosin. Rio says 6.5 for Tosin. Jay says Tosin was good today, 7 or 7.5 for me. Very poor from both Colwell and Tosin for the goal. I think Colwell was a bit... Like, he's not quicker. Like, I think the fault was more an unlucky combination of Cucurella probably shouldn't throw to Caicedo there, if we're being totally honest. Because if Mbeumo is quicker, like, there's only so much you can do. Now, sure, you can say pull him down, but does he get sent off? Is that worth it? You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a tough one. Dawson says he was better than Colwell, so 8. I see a back 3 with Buddy Shield hugging that line. Potentially. Buddy Shield might come in as the left centre back next week. Absolutely possible. Neto will be available at Goodison Park. Yes, he will be. Mazza gives Tosin a 6. Sanchez 4. All right. Mazza is here to take the piss again. Brilliant. Big up, Laurenz. Thank you, James. Great videos as always. Make sure you subscribe. Thank you, James. Appreciate you. Appreciate all of you that's tuned in today, guys. Hit that like button for me. That would be very much appreciated. Subscribe if you haven't already. That would be nice. Thank you so much, guys. Tosin won so many headers. He done well. Tosin 7 out of 10. Cucu Caicedo. Okay, we'll get to that. 7. I will give Tosin... I will give him a 7.5. And I think if there wasn't his involvement in the goal that we conceded, I would have given him an 8. Because I think in a grand scheme of things, I was actually very happy with him. I thought he defended really well in terms of... Sorry, guys. I thought he defended really well in terms of, being well-positioned, reading the game well, intercepting passes at times, being aggressive. Of course, winning his headers. We looked at the 7 out of 7 passes, which was fantastic. We were in control of the game except the last 10 minutes, but we conceded. Kante, he's my idol. That's what Caicedo said. I tried to help the team like he did. I tried my best. Kante is his idol. On his miss, lucky mate. What a mug. But yeah, I'll give Tosin a 7.5. I think he warrants that, if I'm honest. Now, Gusto 8, I actually thought he was shit. Bit harsh, Robbie, no? Bit harsh. Hello, Laurenz. Good win today. Hope you're well as always. Thank you, Mazza. Yes, very good win today. And I hope you're well too. Even if you come to take the piss, gave a touch as the falls on it. Like, it was great today. What do you mean? We've got to give him flowers when he deserves them, no? But yeah, I'll give Tosin a 7.5. I can see people saying 7. But we can't forget this was Tosin's first start at Stamford Bridge in the Premier League. He's had very little Premier League minutes so far this season. And I think for that, coming in, and everybody had a few questions when he came in, and when we saw it was him that obviously made the team. I think because of those reasons, I'm giving him a 7.5. Levi Colwell, now we'll look at the stats. He had that outrageous, unbelievable block in the first half from, can't remember who it was. But that was an outstanding block. Incredible defending. Incredible. Also, the one where they smash it against the bottom of the bar, Colwell got the tiniest touch on that ball. And I think without that touch on the ball, it's probably a goal. So I think that's big. Now, actually, his passing actually was ever so slightly worse even than Tosin, which is, to be honest, what I thought from watching the game. There was a couple of ones by Colwell, especially with sometimes when he played on his right foot, where I was like, what are you doing? Sometimes I also didn't really like how Sanchez played to Colwell when Colwell clearly didn't have passing options. So I think sometimes Colwell was also, let me just cough quickly. Excuse me. Sometimes I also felt that Colwell was put under pressure unnecessarily by passes by Sanchez. To be fair, the crosses, I mean, he had one accurate one. He was obviously playing that left centre back role, whipping it into the far post sometimes, like I spoke about earlier. Still 2 out of 3 long balls is pretty decent. 4 out of 7 aerial duels, wasn't in any ground duels. I know people are going to disagree with me here, and people are probably going to go a little bit lower than me, but I will give him a 7. I will give him a little bit less than Tosin, but I think that block early on and that little nudge on the ball, I will give him that credit that I think that stopped them equalizing at that moment. And if we equalize at that moment, I'm really not sure we still win that game. So that was huge. And that's why I'm giving Colwell a 7. And I also have to say, you can tell that Colwell is a lot less comfortable in this position than he's a central centre-back. But he's more comfortable being out of position than Badiashile is. Because last week we tried Badiashile at right centre-back, while obviously Fofana is out. Obviously, I would love to know how much longer Fofana is going to be out for. I would love to know that. Because, boy, we need him back ASAP. But yeah, you can tell that Colwell is a little bit uncomfortable on the left compared to the middle. But yeah, I agree on Colwell. Better defender there. There you go. Today's game had a little bit of everything. The control, last-ditch defending, good saves, and shithousery from Cucu deserved to win. Yeah, the shithousery from Cucu was great until he got himself sent off. That did kind of annoy me, I can't lie. I still thought he was a bit worse than Tosin. Yeah, I agree. So I'll give him 0.5 less. I think we're relatively happy with that, all of us. Now, let's move on to my good friend, Malagusto. I love him, by the way. His celebrations, the way I was also this moment in I think it was in the first half. Jackson was defending really well. I think after a corner or free kick that they had, and he came, I think a throw-in. And my commentator even said, yeah, for Brentford, throw-ins are like set pieces. And then I see Jackson defending at our own box, and then just out-muscling the guy, winning us a goal kick. And then, Gusto Madueke coming over to clap him and big him up. That was great. That was fantastic. Let me get to Gusto's stats because it needs to be spoken about. I'm really intrigued to see what the stats are going to say now because I thought he was brilliant. Honestly, brilliant. Now, obviously, that was the one shot he had. Not great. 93% passing accuracy. So he had the kind of passing accuracy that I would expect, which Tosin and Colwell didn't. So big up him. Okay, the shot, 3 out of 8 crosses. Now, you can say that isn't amazing, but to have 3 accurate crosses in any game is quite impressive. If you go through stats of past games, you will not find many games where any of our players have had more than 3 accurate crosses in a game. Now, sure, we rarely cross as much as we did today. Fair enough. But still, you get the point. 1 out of 2 tackles, good. 2 out of 4 ground, just honestly, it felt like he won everything to me. Yeah, I mean, what do I need here? Passing to final third, 13 for a centre-back. Crazy. Let me look at this. I mean, there's 7 defensive actions. I'm surprised, guys. The recoveries, maybe. The 10 recoveries, that's the standout potentially. But I noticed Gusto so often winning the ball back, stopping their attacks. I was so happy with Gusto. I got to say, the stats maybe don't fully back me up. But yeah, from my personal feeling, I thought he was brilliant. And one thing I've got to say, even though I have a couple of small issues with Gusto playing, obviously, right centre-back because of far post crosses, obviously, slight lack of height being a fullback, not a centre-back. But the way we play today, right? Let me shift it round a little before we get him our rating. Like, sure, this is our base setup. But there was certainly moments where something like this happened, where you had Palmer and Enzo up there, you had Cucurella up there, and then you could argue either Gusto kind of fills it with Caicedo and do it kind of... And we did this before... I don't remember if it was in a Carabao Cup or if it was... Maybe it was against Leicester, actually, where we basically started to build in a 2-2. And Gusto not always being the right centre-back. A bit of this. Because Gusto played a lot of crosses from this area. And Gusto, being as quick as he is, and being like as able to run for a long time. Now, I know he's had a few injury issues as well. So you can argue maybe he isn't able to run for that long. But in the grand scheme of things, Gusto can run. And I think him playing in that position, when he obviously has the opportunity to go up and down the pitch and also help in attack against these kind of low block teams like Brentford were today, Gusto is a huge asset because he has the legs to get back and still defend. Now, let me go through a few of your messages, what you said on Gusto. Roca says, I wanted to write about Colwell, but you literally told everything I wanted to. Well, sorry. Or not sorry? Whichever way you want to look at it. But thank you. Thank you. Dawson says, 7.5 for Gusto. 7.5 for Gusto. 8 for Gusto. pretty solid. 7.5 for me, 7.5, 8. Could even go 8. 7.5 for Malo. Such a good versatile player, man. Cowlick was better than Tosin for me, especially the block on that clearance. It was a typo or autocorrect. I thought you were trying to slag him off. I will give Tosin Gusto an 8. I think Gusto. You know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to do something crazy. I'm going to give Gusto an 8, and I stand by that. I think he was better than the other two, and I thought he had a very good game. But I'm going to go back, and I'm going to give Sanchez an 8.5. I think he deserves a higher rate. I know goalie's always a bit different to outfield players, but I think purely on how it looks with the numbers, I think Sanchez deserves a higher rating than at least those three. We'll get into it. He doesn't deserve a higher rating than everybody, but he deserves a higher rating than the back three, in my opinion. So I'll give Sanchez an 8.5, and I'll give Gusto an 8. I would personally have with that. Where were Felix and Lavia? Bizarre not to have them on the bench. Well, Lavia, I spoke about this earlier, when he was subbed off at Spurs last weekend at half-time, even though Maresca said it was a bit precautionary, he felt his hamstring a little bit. That's why it was partly why he was subbed off at half-time. And we haven't really heard since, so we assume it's not really a serious injury, but we're just like, taking it slow just so we don't get him actually seriously injured. That's how I understand it. So let's hope he's potentially back for Everton next week, but let's see. Let's see. I'm not 100% sure, if I'm honest. I'm not 100% sure. Now, next, obviously, out of possession, Cucurella is the left back, so I will get to him next. And Cucurella is a crazy man. Cucurella is a crazy man because how can you play so well, score that good of a goal, be so incredible everywhere on the pitch, and somehow still kind of annoy me? Because that red card just didn't have to be the case, bro. It just didn't have to be the case. But let's look at the stats, okay? Let's look at the stats. 32 out of 35 passes. Fantastic. 1 out of 1 shot. Well, can't ask for more than that. What a header. What a flying header it was. Gorgeous. Now, the accurate crosses, some of the crosses could have been better, but they weren't all bad. Sometimes a bit unlucky that it didn't come to a man. 2 out of 2 tackles. Great. 4 out of 7 ground duels. Very good. 3 out of 7 aerial duels. Could be a bit better, but he's obviously not the tallest guy. In the grand scheme of things, I thought Cucurella was absolutely I'm sorry, guys. I was just going through bloody Cucurella's stats, and I realized I didn't even bloody show you. There you go. 33 out of 35 passes, 32 out of 35, 91 accuracy. You can see the crosses. Okay, it doesn't look great. 2 out of 2 tackles is good. You can see the duels down here. In total, 7, 1, 7 lost. But Cucurella was just a machine. Cucurella was a machine. Like, he was everywhere. He was the glue. He was the glue of this team. He went from here to scoring up there, to winning the ball over here, to defending over here, to being aggressive over here, to shithouse winning free kicks around this area. He was phenomenal. I will take something off for this red card because it's just not necessary. And he's so important to us that we don't need silly things. Now, because I wasn't there, I don't know what happened. Ahmed said that he shoved the player. Other people said, or in sort of FOTMob kind of live tickers information, it said that he said something to the ref, whatever it was. And maybe he was hardly that hard done by. Absolutely possible. But I think he was outstanding in every other sense of the word. So I'm going to give him a 9.5. He was still my man of the match. Yes, Sammy, he was my man of the match in terms of on the pitch. But that kind of red kind of ruined it. Yes, he was after full time. Don't take points off my boy. Nah, I can't, because I can't, like, I was seriously tempted to give Cucurella a 10 today because I thought he was that good. I genuinely did. You can also argue the throw-in that led to Brentford's goal, which obviously made the end very nervy. I said it earlier already. I don't think he should have thrown to Caicedo, maybe. Yeah, no, of course. It is a double yellow. It's a second yellow card, not a straight red. But still annoying. He's still out for Goodness in the way, and Goodness in the way is a tough bloody place to go. And he's one of our most important players in the team. So that's why it's just frustrating. So yeah, Mazza says 9. Big K says 9.5. Initially you said 8.5, but you changed your mind clearly. I really didn't mind the red Vega physical against Everton, blessing in disguise there, and he gets a rest. But Cucurella doesn't need the rest. Cucurella only plays once a week anyway. And yes, I understand what you mean with Vega, but I think you Cucurella is one of our most, genuinely, I think Cucurella next to Caicedo is the most important player in our team right now. Obviously, Palmer and stuff, and he drags players, pulls players away. I get it. Jackson and everything, sure. But I think Cucurella, in terms of how we play, the intensity we have, one of our most important players. And Rid says, this brother is the best left back in the world. I don't think it's even close. Someone name one better. No, you can't. You can't name one better. He's the best left back in the world by a mile. I see Alphonso Davies links. I'm like, do you want to come here to sit on the bench behind Cucurella, mate? What the flip? Piss off. What do you mean? Absolute nonsense. He's so good at inverting. Mate, he can play left centre back. He can play left back. He can play left hand side of midfield. He can play left number 10. He does everything. What was it? At Leicester, where he played left wing. Outrageous player. Is insane how good he is. And what an example of a man and a player of attitude and of hard work. Think about where Cucurella was after his first 6 months, year, even 18 months at Chelsea. He was in the mud. He was struggling. He just didn't have a good time at all. And to turn it around the way that guy has, by the way, absolutely robbed to not be in the UEFA 11 or FIFA 5th Pro 11 of the year, absolutely robbed. I mean, obviously they did a back three, so they didn't have to include Cucurella because there was no better left back. Euros winning assist, incredible season for Chelsea, incredible year for Chelsea, I should say. World-class player. Man, we're rolling. Bro, we are rolling. We can agree, though, man of the match. Yeah, absolutely. Every time I see him play, I'm so sad that we were thinking about giving him away to Man U. Bro, as am I, Ruckus. As am I. Can't believe it. I didn't want that to happen at the time, by the way. Now, I was very much one of the people that defended Cucurella for a long time. Now, I will also have to be as honest and say that there came a point where I was like, maybe you can't save that. And I'm glad we did save him. Pys just posted a quote saying Lavia and Felix will be back for Everton. Really? Fantastic. Let me go look at that straight away. I guess, actually, let me quickly highlight that, and then we'll look at Pys' comment on this, because we're just talking about Cucurella. So people who might not have really seen or whatever, this is where he got sent off. This guy's clapping, so he's bloody buzzing. Don't know what happened. Don't know why he's buzzing about a red card for a player that, you know, the game's already finished. So Cucurella will now miss a game that this guy's not involved with. So what a dickhead he is. Fuck him. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, this ref, I said to my girlfriend as well watching the game, can you look more British than this guy? What a mug. Piss off. Do you know what I mean? I forgot his name, but what a mug. Anyway, let me quickly look at this quote that the chat mentioned. Maresca and Felix will be back for the Everton game. Well, that is for once good news. Thank you very much, Enzo Maresca. This is great. Yeah, I mean, he says, no matter how many games we win, I don't think we're ready to compete for the title. Other teams know how to compete for titles. They won't concede the goals we conceded like the one today. Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong. But the problem is if the other teams keep bottling it, what can we do? If we keep winning and they keep bottling it, it is what it is. What can I do? Man, we're rolling. Yeah, let me just bring it back to that one and then go through more of the chat messages. Embodies everything we want to be as a club. Yeah, no, he literally does. One of my favorite players, literally. How can you go from being on the verge to Man United? We wanted to loan him to Man United. And the only reason it didn't happen is because Manchester United wanted a clause that they can send him back in January. Because remember, the only reason they wanted him is because Luke Shaw got injured and Malacia got injured. So both their left backs got injured. That's why they wanted Cucurella on loan. But they wanted him for 6 months and send him back in January. And that's why we said no. It's unbelievable, that. It's unbelievable. Best in the world, almost undisputed. What a man. With no Cucurella, could the back four be Gusto, left back, Colwell, Fofana, Caicedo? Well, I wish, but Fofana's injured, bro. So unfortunately not. Nicolas Jackson, don't know what that shortcut means. Abbreviation, sorry. Yeah, I think more likely Vega, but we'll see. I like how Palmer was annoyed with the misplaced passes. It shows hunger. A rare emotion shown by him, and I appreciated that. First of all, I like the way you phrased it, bro, and I agree. Maresca is class. He knows exactly what he's doing. Yeah, absolutely. No matter how many games we win, this guy sounds like Pep. Yeah, no, it's true. He's mugging everybody off like Pep. I mean, I don't know. We don't know. We hope not too long, but late December, early January, probably. Yeah, but hey, it's a tough one. Yeah, I'm going to stick to my 9.5 for Cucurella. Might have given him a 10, but the red card, second yellow card, Maza, after full time, and also the throw-in that led to the goal we conceded. Those could be better, but otherwise he was just incredible. And now we move on to Moises Caicedo, the other glue. We have two glues, and thankfully we're a team that can't just have two glues. Most teams have one glue. We've got two. I mean, super glue. And Moises Caicedo, what a performance again. Strong passing for his position, 51 out of 60 passes. Did I change the screen? Yes, I did this time, thankfully. 1 out of 1 shots on target, okay. Didn't succeed at dribble, but 3 out of 4 long balls, and a couple of them outrageous. 2 out of 2 tackles, felt like 15. 13 recoveries, 8 defensive actions, 4 interceptions, outrageous. again, these are the weird things for Caicedo. You watch the game, you think he was the best player in the world, won every tackle, and then you go to the stats and you see 3 out of 10 ground duels, or sometimes it's 4 out of 9, or sometimes it's 5 out of 13 or something. It's almost always below 50%. I don't really know how. Usually my explanation and my thought process is maybe it's just because he gets into duels that other players wouldn't even get into. But it's not like he gets into them to actually win the ball. He gets into those duels to slow the player down and allow other teammates to take the ball off them. That's my only explanation, because I don't see Caicedo play and see him only win 3 out of 10 ground duels of what I consider ground duels. Now, a lot of the chat said 9. I was debating between a 9 and a 9.5. Because I don't think it was quite as good as Cucurella in the grand scheme of things. Just not as standout important in moments. Obviously, Cucurella scoring as well. But then obviously the red card, I'm still going to go 9.5 because you can do even more than Caicedo did today. And not that I ask any more from him, but in terms of sometimes he's had a goal, sometimes he's had an assist, so you could add it even more. That's why I don't want to go too high. But yeah, 9 for Caicedo, 9 from Sammy as well, 9.5. Rich says £115 million bargain, and that's the sad thing. We could have still got him for 90 if the board directors just paid up soon. The way he won the ball back to give it to Enzo, and ultimately we scored that move. Oh, outrageous! He's so good. I love them all. I love them all. Mazza also says he was great. Monster. 9 for me. We definitely have to get back up for Caicedo. Lavia is supposed to be that guy, guys. And 9 is fair. The general, yes. I want to quickly show a quote from from Caicedo as well. I read it out to you already anyway, but just to show it on screen because it's very much fitting to speaking about Moises Caicedo. He was asked to BBC Sport, Kante, well, he's my idol. I try to help the team like he did. I try my best. And boy, you are trying your best and it's bloody working. What a guy. What a player. I absolutely love him. Absolutely love him. Yeah, JP says he was 9 for me. Ridiculous player. Absolutely ridiculous. Big K says also 9. Rokas. I keep wanting to say Rakos. I don't know why. Sorry, man. 9 for Caicedo. He was immense. Caicedo, constant 8.5 to 9.5 every game. 150 mil bargain. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But let's move on from Moises Caicedo. Get that 9. Fully deserves it, in my opinion. So, next one up the list. Enzo Fernandez. Got himself the assist at the end as well, didn't he? My guy is getting involved. I just saw it in the chat. I want to highlight him. By Rio. Enzo, 10 goals and assists in 7 matches post-divorce. Insanity. And the crazy thing is, obviously, he got those 3 assists against Noah. 2 of them were set pieces or corners. And that it's not like I want to take any credit away from them or from those assists, but it was like Noah is more like playing an under 21s team for us, realistically, right? But even if you take that out of it, that means it's 7 goals and assists in 6 matches for a central midfielder. Now, I know he's playing quite high for us, but even still, Enzo Fernandez has been bloody on one. Now, he wasn't in absolutely out of this world outrage today, but he was really good. And what I want to say, we had this one counter-attack in the first half. I think it was Sancho leading it, maybe Gusto. I wasn't sure which one of the 2 it was. They had Palmer to their right, decided not to play to Palmer, decided to switch it to the other side. And as we were counter-attacking, I was screaming, cross it to Enzo, because Enzo was at the far post unmarked. And we were steaming up the pitch, like I say, either Sancho Augusto, Palmer, Madueke, and Enzo. And Enzo was giving it full blast. It was I couldn't believe it. I've never seen this guy run so fast. It was like I was in an alternate dimension or something. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. He was running so fast. He was running as fast as Madueke. I can't believe it. And I still think if Madueke let the ball through to Enzo scores then. But the through ball, the weight. Now, Jackson had a lot to do for that goal. So the large majority of the credit for that Jackson 2-0 at the time goes to Jackson. But the pass is still important. The pass is still big. Weighted it perfectly. Rolled it nicely. Obviously, Caicedo big ups. Someone in the chat mentioned it for winning the ball to play to Enzo. But yeah, now he tries his best to get back. Fair play to him. He's definitely improved. Yeah. He's also working very hard defensively, sprinting like a madman. Him and Cucurella and Caicedo, they were dogging everybody down. Absolutely everybody. They were chasing and they were leaving nobody alone. Absolutely nobody was left any minute space at anywhere. Incredible. Rio says, just like Cucurella, Caicedo, feels like we have 2 Kantés, Palmer, Enzo. Feels like we have 2 Lampards. Ooh, that's a stretch. That one's a stretch, but I hear it. I hear what you mean, though. Enzo, big up. Let me show you this in bigger again. Let's look at the stats. Passing, I mean, good enough. Very attacking position, obviously. Look at where he was doing things from, like in and around the box for sure. Created 3 chances, which is very good. Can't complain with that. How many passes into the final third did he have? Touches in the opposition box 5. I mean, that tells you everything you need to know, really. 52 touches in total. Had a shot that was on target. 1 out of 3 crosses at least. 4 out of 5 long balls. 1 out of 3 tackles. Ground duels, okay. Aerials, that could be better, but obviously, again, Brentford very much a physical and tall team, and that's not exactly Enzo's game. I will give Enzo Fernandez. I think he was slower than usual today. Interesting. I'm not even saying that he was permanently super fast, Ruckus. But there was just this one counterattack. I couldn't believe how fast he ran. I couldn't believe how fast he ran. We're not talking about Palmer yet, but I hear it. 8 for Enzo. I just wish he scored. But for me, 8. He was good today. Another goal involvement. Absolutely. The only problem I had with Enzo was his body language. He would lose the ball and then stand there. Did he? Okay, I didn't notice that. 8.5 with the assistant. Only thing I didn't like about Enzo is today lost the ball a couple of times in bad areas. Yeah, but sometimes it happens. You know what I mean? Loki 7.5. For me, still very good. Just lost the ball in bad areas a couple of times. But if we go by that, surely we have to have the criticism for Caicedo, no? Because Caicedo is the guy that lost the ball that led to our goal. Now, he got given the ball from a risky throw-in surrounded by 3-4 players. So you can't realistically expect him to keep the ball, to be honest. But, if we're saying, Enzo lost the ball in the dangerous moment places and nothing happened, but we don't criticize Caicedo for it, even though something happened, I think that's a bit harsh. Oh, well, fair enough. Fair enough. No, I hear that. I'm thinking between a 7.5 and an 8. You know what, guys? I'll give you a poll. Let's do a poll for Enzo Fernandez's rating. Enzo F rating out of 10 versus, who did we play? Brentford. How could I have forgotten that? 7.5 and 8. You guys, please, I'm pressing start poll now. So the poll should be in the chat now. So please, guys, place your votes in the poll at the top of the live chat. Under me, if you're on your phone, just go below. There should be the chat, unless you're on full screen. Then take full screen away and scroll down. And if you're on desktop, just over here next to me, place the vote. And we'll see in a little bit what you guys have voted for. I'll put it up. Take this F away. Do 7.5/8. And hopefully I remember to go back to it. Cole Palmer. Not his best game. Not his best. Now, he nearly scored a worldie when the game had already stopped play after that weird corner. But yeah, not his best game. Had that good shot early first half. Decent save from the keeper, I guess. Strong passing accuracy, though. Bloody hell. For his position to have 35-38 is really strong. Couldn't believe that. Bloody hell. 1 out of 2 dribbles is good. 3 out of 9 crosses. Could be a bit better. 3 out of 4 long balls, though. But still, I said this earlier for Gusto already. He had 3 out of 8. Having 3 accurate crosses is not a common thing. Obviously, we spam crosses like crazy today. Just quickly, let me go to stats. Does it say how many crosses we attempted? Passes. Accurate crosses. So, okay, that's crazy. So we had 29% crossing accuracy, but we had 10 accurate crosses. So how does that work then? I'm not good at percentage maths. So how many crosses did we play in total? If that's a third, well, a third, so it's probably 31, 32 crosses ish, right? So that's a lot of crosses. That's a lot. What's the meme? That's a lot of. I don't know. Anyway. It is what happens when I'm talking to myself. You got to think, guys. We've been live for 58 minutes. I've been speaking without stopping for 58 minutes. Try that once. You go in front of your TV or mirror and speak for 58 minutes. Usually you have conversations with people, right? So you go back and forth. But I've been speaking straight for 59 minutes now. Anyway, Big K, 8 for Palmer. For the standards, I hold Palmer 2. He definitely wasn't above average for me today. Eminem is up there. Is that Cole Palmer? Sure. Just a 6 for me today. 7 Palmer. I hope Palmer has a better game against Everton. 10.5 for me today. Okay. Honestly, I'm surprised you've gone that high, Muzzer. Just to quickly see the defensive output. 3 out of 4 ground duels, big up him. Palmer is a slender guy, but he knows how to use his height and lankiness very well. I will give Cole 6.5. Is that too harsh? He's got the lowest rating by far today so far. Do I genuinely think Palmer was our worst? I genuinely think Palmer might have been our worst player. And by that, I don't mean that he was terrible. I mean, maybe Jackson, but obviously Jackson scored in the end. I'm going to give him a 6.5. I'm going to give him a 6.5. This is a bit harsh. I get that. I mean, he was decent against Spurs. Obviously, the 2 pens, but also otherwise, he was decent against Spurs. He should have had like 2 assists, the Sancho chance and Jackson. I mean, Sancho, he could have had 2 assists. He could have had 2 assists. I'm not going to say he should have, but I see what you say. To be honest, he created at least 3-4 chances that should have been goals, maybe 7. Yeah. Let me see how many chances he officially created. 4. Okay. Maresca was probably the worst player. But Maresca still caused havoc. Maresca created a lot of corners, created a lot of dangerous crosses that could have been, more, and not necessarily that he did something wrong, just good defending after. And he was very much persistent. Noni got that assist, and Noni got that assist as well, of course, for Cucurella, which was an outrageous cross, by the way. Yeah. Well put with the explanation. Yeah. And I also just think that Palmer standards. Now, any other player than Palmer, maybe I just give them the 7 today because it was still a decent game from them, an okay, good game from them, maybe. But Palmer is so good that I just have slightly higher expectations. Maybe that's sometimes harsh, but hey, look at Cole Palmer. I'm sure he can handle it. Rucker says, maybe not out of form, but maybe we just expect so much from him. Yeah, maybe. And obviously, he's getting doubled up on. These are difficult games. Yeah, but Palmer's playing without a chin, so we have to give him more props. Let's not stretch it. I know Palmer's that guy, but he was not better than 6.5 today. Fair enough. I'll give him that 6.5, and we'll leave it at that. And next, because we just touched on Madueke, let's go to Sancho. Does that make sense? Maybe not, but that's what I'm going to do. Sancho had an interesting game today. There was moments where I was like, "Ooh, Sancho, come on, I need a bit more." And there was this one chance where he kind of rounded the keeper, and then that little skill is outrageous. Could he have tried to shoot instantly with his left? Maybe, but honestly, I think it gets blocked. So I don't have an issue with him not shooting there. There was this other moment where maybe he could have shot, but yeah. 47 out of 54 passes in that position is very strong, 87%. The crosses, dribbles, 2 out of 6. Could be better, should be better, if we're honest. And an accurate long ball, no tackles, 3 out of 7 ground is okay. But he should have had that assist for Jackson. And that was really good work. Really, really good work. And in general, he's so smooth on the ball. He helps us transition so well because he's so good at keeping the ball. Now, I can understand people making the case that Sancho maybe also should only get a 6.5. I'm not sure if anybody did or is saying that, but I'll give him a 7, just about higher than Sanchez. Ruka says, Sancho just gives me street football vibes. Yeah, he does. 7, I appreciate his defensive output today. Absolutely. His tracking back was immense. Yes, it was. Sanchez today, 6.5, had a great cutback for Jackson, but other than that, wasn't very impactful. 7 for Jaden. He was way faster than I thought too. Yeah, he looks quicker as well than he did at United. Way sharp and fitter. Sancho was good, 10.5 even. Sancho was good on the ball, but again, resist to shoot. Yeah, sometimes he is a bit afraid to shoot. But you've got to think, Sensation, that sometimes us watching on TV, we obviously see an angle, right? We see cuts inside and we're like, shoot. But you got to think, Sancho cuts inside and sees the path that the ball could travel. And if he's like cutting inside and he sees my shooting lane to go for goal is blocked, there is no benefit in shooting. Like sometimes, like for example, Palmer had one today where I'm like, that was so obvious that you were going to get blocked there. Why are you shooting? Don't shoot there. And so sometimes, for Sancho, he should shoot more. But I'm like, after the last 2 games he had, that goal against Southampton and in particular the goal against Spurs, I think we shouldn't be too harsh for him on the shooting today. I think Felix doing the same thing this is why he doesn't start. He's talking about Felix, Palmer, or Sancho. Before the assist, Benoni, this quality really wasn't the best. Okay, I'll get to that in a second. Inflating the attackers' scores as Sanchez been given. Fair enough. Nah, Sanchez was class today, bro. He's a traditional winger, not an inside forward type player. He likes to assist more than scoring. But then you can see last week, also he can score. Move over to Noni Madueke. And I want to highlight that assist was world class. What a cross. What a cross. Let me show up his stats. Bring up his stats, I should say, and see what we make of it. What did you make of it, guys? What did you make of Noni Madueke? Bloody hell, he was bloody active. 7 shots, got an assist. Only 2 misplaced passes, which was very strong. Shooting, 2 out of 5 were on target. Dribbles, 1 out of 3. Again, should be a bit better. Obviously, same percentage as Sancho with the 2 from 6. Accurate crosses, 2 out of 5 is okay, and 1 of them led to a goal, so I'm not complaining. Duels, 2 out of 4 is okay. 1 out of 4 could be a bit better. I'll give Noni a 7 as well. I won't make this too complicated now. Oh, you probably couldn't tell the stats properly. My apologies, guys. I'll give him a 7 as well. Now, he did get an assist and Sancho didn't, I know. There's more of a case that I should put Sancho down to a 6.5, in my opinion, than put him on the record to a 7.5. I think 7.5 is exactly the edge where you go from good performance to great performance. From 7.5 onwards, you're talking very good to great performance. And I don't think he was quite that. But I think he was good. There was this annoying bad touch in the first half that annoyed me a little bit. Where I'm like, come on, man. Needs to be a bit better. But to be fair, a lot of you guys going quite high. 7.5 from Sammy, 7.5 from JP. Even says 8, caused like up to an 8. How caused havoc down this side? Great. It says 7.5. Not only 7, to be honest. Think Sancho played better, which is why they get the same rating. Yeah, I kind of agree with that because there was just moments where Noni messed up a little bit. Like the wrong decision, the wrong pass, a bad touch. You know, it happens. Not as impressed me thus far. I noticed his in-game body language has been better. He would mess up, or his teammates would mess up, and he'd just stand there flailing his arms. That said 7. Yeah, that was in particular when Nicolas Jackson missed his huge chance. I was actually very happy to see Noni went straight over him and kind of tried to like pick him up, you know, get him to cheer it up. What? I'm confused. Carney ill, Chile ill, Pedro suspended, Reese was injured, Benoit felt something. That's the current situation. And Misha. Yeah. I can't speak too much on this, but yeah, I'm getting cryptic messages while I'm live. My apologies. But yeah, just to go back to that, by Noni, I was very happy with him when he just tried to pick up Jackson after that miss. And the selfish discourse really needs to stop, though. Madueke is not selfish. I agree. Sometimes it just tries a bit too hard, but that isn't it. That doesn't. I wouldn't define that as selfish. Let's get to Nicolas Jackson to finish it off with our starters. Obviously, we only made 1 sub today, so that's going to be quite quick. Also, 7 shots, like Noni Madueke did. Got himself that 1 goal. Could have scored 1 or 2 earlier. He had that worldy attempt that he put nearly wide. You could see it only had, only just wide. I mean, it only had 0.02 XG, but nearly went in anyway. The shot itself, the goal, had only 0.12 XG, and what a hit it was. There wasn't much of a goal to score, to hit at because of the defender, the way he was blocking him. Only 10 out of 18 passes. That was certainly not his best day. He had a couple of nice moments of link-up, but also a couple of less nice moments of link-up. 2 out of 6 shots were on target. That could have been a bit better. 1 out of 3 dribbles. That was 1 really nice dribble in midfield, I thought. 1 out of 3 tackles. 4 out of 9 ground duels. I'm okay with that. 1 out of 2 aerials. I'm okay with that too. Sometimes I hope he would go for more aerials, but that's a whole different conversation. I will give Nicolas Jackson a 7.5. Now, I can see maybe why some people say that's a tad on the verge of high, but that goal is so big. Obviously, they just nearly scored. It was just after they rifled the ball against the bar, and it only just about stayed out, right? So close. He essentially nearly directly goes on the other side and scores. And making it 2-0 in that moment was so big. Now, obviously, we ruined the clean sheet at the end again and stuff. But still, also without his second goal, if we could see later on, we drop points again. And it was so big for us to win today. Arsenal dropped points, Liverpool dropped points, City lost. It was so big for us to win today was huge. Villa lost as well in kind of in and around us, right? It was outrageous. So yeah, I'm giving Jackson a 7.5 and then Nkunku off the bench. Honestly, I barely noticed him. I'm giving him an NA. Let me quickly go to see a couple of more of the quotes. I would like to see about that. Why are they all ill though? I want to see that. Yeah, just a chill guy. There you go. So let me just highlight Maresca's comments because obviously next thing we're going to do is rate Enzo Maresca. Okay, John Kennedy, I will reply to you in just a moment. Should be that? Yes. Just quickly, John Kennedy says, got one question. Does the Cucurella red card after the match keep him out of the next 3 games? No, it does not. Now, first of all, just to be clear, John, it was not a straight red card. It was a second yellow card. Obviously, he got booked after 95 minutes for that tackle. Maybe you remember it just before halftime, just before the end. He said it was the yellow card. He did get the ball, but his kind of training leg kind of collected the guy. I think it's an okay yellow to give, if I'm being honest. But yeah, he seemingly either said something or did what, but it was a second yellow card, so he's only going to be suspended for 1 game, not 3. So at least that. Roca says, I wanted Maresca to change him for Nkunku before he scored. Glad they managed to keep him on. Yeah, and he took him off straight after as well. Passed on his goal to the squad. Yes, it is. But let's get to these quotes from Maresca. Now, he said Carney is ill. Chile is ill. Not sure why he's being mentioned, but sure. Pedro is obviously was suspended today. Reese and Wes were injured. Benoit felt something, so that's why Badiashile wasn't involved. That's the current situation. And Misha. What does he mean, and Misha? Is Misha not ill now? Now, I can't speak about this. Oh, Russell Martin got sacked by Southampton. I mean, they lost 5-0 again today. These lot are shit, man. Russell Martin, yeah, you went too far. But anyway, what is this? Yeah. I can't speak on exactly what I heard about this Mudryk situation. I don't, and because partly because I can't blurt this out publicly, but partly also because I can't be too sure about how true it is. But yeah, something strange is with this Mudryk situation. Why is he saying and Misha? I don't get it. I find it weird. But yeah, I would love to know what he said. I need to see his face as he said that. Yeah, that's true. That's true. To be fair, I would like to see Chile play to see how he's progressing. He's probably not progressing at all because he's never playing. But yeah, I think he should have been. I mean, if he's ill, he's ill. But he isn't in the Conference League squad. I keep forgetting that because he should have been in our starter. I think we should have called him up in a Conference League squad personally. But anyway, just to get on that top quote, by the way, Maresca winning the title. The fans can dream, but inside, as a club, as a squad, as coaching staff, we need to be realistic, and that's right. They just have to go game by game. But as fans, we can say, well, how can we say we're not in a title race if we're 2 points off top? Yeah, we obviously looked at those ones already. Lavia and Felix will be back for Everton. And no matter how many games we win, I don't think we're ready to compete for the title. Other teams know how to compete. They won't concede their goals. We conceded like the one today. Let me move over to finish it off with our lineup sheet, with our lineup screen. Let me find a space for the man himself, Enzo Maresca, Robert Sanchez, with a very good performance today. So I'll put it below him. Enzo Maresca. Well, what more could he have done? I thought he planned the perfect approach to playing Brentford. Now, I know Brentford have had a really poor record away from home, but they're clearly not bad anyway. They probably were a bit lucky in their home games and a bit unlucky in their away games for the form to be as drastic as it is. But Brentford were good today. Brentford defended really well. They were dangerous. They were trying to press us. They were trying to cause problems. They were not. Brentford, for who they are, had a decent game today. They challenged us, but we just stood up to the challenge and we just held on. And I don't think we were bad and scraped the win. I think we were good and had our usual 10, 15 minutes or dodgy moments like the goal we conceded, like we just lose control a little bit. And obviously they hit the bar and everything. But I think in the grand scheme of things, how the manager coached it, how the manager found solutions, 9. A light bench today, which is why we only made 1 sub. Obviously, no Lavia, no Neto due to suspension. Carney supposedly ill. Misha not involved, also supposedly ill. God knows what's happening with all these guys, right? João Felix not involved. Lavia not involved. Injury, illness, God knows. I think with all of that, Enzo Maresca did a phenomenal job. I'll give him a 9. And Misha, just as he's coming into form, he gets ill and loses momentum. Yeah, but is he ill? No, bro. He's not on his way out. He's not on his way out. It's clear he's shown no growth in the Premier League since joining Edward Hart. I'm a huge fan of his. First of all, I disagree that he's shown no improvement in the Premier League. He's not played the Premier League much, but when he's come to the bench, he's looking okay. And the Conference League is looking better and better and better. I really don't think he's leaving. I really don't think that's going to happen. Not in January, anyway. I don't want Madrid to leave, not going to lie. He's got the right manager to help him. I think so. 9 from Sammy, 9 from Maza. Where was Felix? And Cuckoo missed the next game. He got sent off. Yes, that's true. The last bit. Where was Felix? We don't know for sure. We know that he didn't train the day before we flew to Kazakhstan last Thursday. So he didn't train on last Wednesday. So that's kind of all we knew. And yeah, so presumably ill, because Maresca said he's going to be back for Everton. So presumably he is or was ill. Did anyone see Misha at Stamford Bridge today? Good question. I haven't seen any pictures. I think it was one of the most dominant games in terms of control we had until the last 15, 20 minutes. Yeah, 100%. I think, yeah. See, you watched the Manchester Derby today, and obviously very different teams, bigger rivalry, everything else. But the way we move the ball against these kind of teams now, so quick, so precise, so much intention, so much plan, so much knowing what everybody's going to do. Today, the plan was clearly that half-field cross into the far post area. And sure, we went with it, and sometimes it didn't work. But first of all, in the end, it also led to a goal. And we just kept persisting, and we kept winning the ball back, and we kept dominating them and pressuring them and pulling them in and stopping all of their attacks. I mean, it was crazy. Obviously, they had those few chances second half, but in the grand scheme of things, I'm so happy. Enzo Maresca, you deserve a 9 today. Enzo Maresca, you're doing an incredible job. And I've got to say, I'll bring the table up one more time. We are not ready to win the Premier League, but due to circumstances unforeseen and unforeseeable by anybody, I think as fans, we have to say we find ourselves in a title race. How it goes, I'm not saying we will or can win the title, but we find ourselves in a title race. He blatantly skived. Felix, he lucky he got 10 minutes at Everton. Yeah. But then he would have trained the day before. You know what I mean? But who knows? Roca says, I want Maresca to make earlier subs to bring fresh players sooner, but if we keep winning, no worries, I guess. In principle, I agree with this, but today the bench was just very light. Who would you have wanted to bring on? You know? Would you have wanted to bring Sam Raksaki on in a game like today when it was close in midfield? I wouldn't have. Maybe you could have brought on George for Sancho, maybe late on. Sure. And Kunku for Jackson happened. Jackson still scored, though. So, yeah, I will leave it at that. Like I say, we're not ready for a title race, but we find ourselves in a title race. And now I want to see how Chelsea deal with it, because I'm buzzing. Everton next, then Christmas period. I'm buzzing. We keep going. Our form is strong. Our fixtures are not too difficult. I can bring up our fixtures quickly. Might as well. Let me just bring them up. Fixtures. There, we've got them. So, now on Thursday, we play our last game in the Conference League, league stages, against Shamrock Rovers, obviously from Ireland. I'm expecting a lot of rotation. Maybe Ashimpong, maybe George, maybe Sam Raksaki. Let's see. Then, next Sunday, 2 o'clock UK time, 3 o'clock my time, Everton away. Huge game. Win that again. Then, Thursday next week, midweek game, Boxing Day, that is, after Christmas. Fulham at home. Difficult game. They just took points of Arsenal and of Liverpool. This will be a tough game, but we can do it. Then Ipswich away. Never easy. Monday night, late, December, 30th of December. It's going to be cold. But we can do it. Palace away. We've been quite decent there recently. Obviously, Morecambe, we should be beaten. Bournemouth at home won't be easy, but we should be beating them. We should be winning all of these games, guys. We should be winning all of these games, and I am bloody buzzing. But we are ready to go top week, 100%. I'm not sure when Liverpool play, but yeah, everybody's saying this, so there you go. I'll take it. If you brought anyone in and we conceded, everyone will blame Maresca. Props to him for keeping all the experienced lads in the game. Absolutely. I was worried about the Brentford fixture. I'm glad we won. Yes, I was slightly worried about it as well. Even though Brentford had obviously a terrible away record this season, we had a terrible home record against them. And we broke that curse again. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap this up. It's been an hour of 20 minutes of non-stop speaking. I am tired. It's 11:30 p.m. on a Sunday. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being here with me once more. Appreciate all of you guys. Shout out Rokas G for becoming a member today. If you guys want to become a member and support the channel, get your emoji next to your message in the chat so I make sure that I actually see it and I read it out every single time. Get involved. Join underneath with the join button on desktop or down in the description with the link if you're on your phone. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't done it yet, would be massively appreciated. Hit the like button as well. I would love that. Now, it used to always tell me how many likes we're currently on, but for some, there you go. Well, we're currently on 56 likes, guys. So please, all of you that haven't done that yet, hit the like button for me one more time. I would massively appreciate it. And just to finish it off, by the way, the poll for Enzo's rating finished at giving him an 8 rather than a 7.5. So we shall give Enzo that 8. And we shall go to bed happy. Chelsea, second in the Premier League. Chelsea are incredible. Chelsea are beautiful. And Chelsea is the best team in the world. And what can you do about it? Nothing. I just want to show you one last thing, just to finish off on this one last time. 2 points off Liverpool, 4 points ahead of Arsenal, 7 points ahead of Manchester City, 12 points ahead of Manchester United. Think yourself back. Think yourself back to August, to July. And now then on 15th of December, if anyone would have told you we'd be 4 ahead of Arsenal, 7 ahead of City, and 12 ahead of Manchester United. Think about how happy that would have made you and how insane you would have found that to be. This is how insane it is where we are right now. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great night. Thank you much. Thank you much. See, my brain is fried. I'm just going to finish it there. Hey guys for watching. Up the Chelsea, upwards and onwards. And I will see you next time.